So hedge accounting is useful in two scenarios, in my opinion, in India. Primarily two scenarios where exporter, importers, or someone with a loan will find hedge accounting useful. First example, for long-term exporters or exporters who hedge for long-term. Let's take this example. Let's say there is a company which is a long-term exporter. They have a 3-year order in hand, either in IT, ITES, KPO, or automobile contract or construction contracts, where the dollar is expected to come over the period of next 3 years in a uniform manner. Let's assume that. Okay, your price is fixed. Whether dollar rupee goes to 60 or it goes to 100, you will get the same price. So you need to hedge to protect yourself to benefit from the premium. Okay, so 3 years, $20 million per year, total contract size is $60 million. Okay, you have hedged 50% of the loan, that is $30 million. You are hedged as of now for different dates in the future. However, your invoicing for the whole 3 years is not done together, right? Invoicing is done as and when you complete your work or you dispatch your goods, right? As an OEM manufacturer of automobile, you'll keep dispatching goods from time to time. So, and you receive payments within 90 days of invoicing. Now, in your books of accounts, how much will be outstanding? $5 million, 90 days of receivables, correct? But in your hedge, how much is your hedge outstanding in the books? $30 million. So in your books, in the books of accounts, you have 30 million of hedge and 5 million of account receivables. Whereas your real risk is for $60 million, not for $5 million. So you have hedged according to your real risk, not according to your accounting risk. Now what happens? Let's say during a quarter, rupee moves from 74 to 78, which by the way is a possibility during this quarter. If you see this 4 rupees movement, what will be the impact on your books of accounts? You will see a loss, because on that $25 million of mismatch, you will see 4 rupees hit, which will be 10 crores. Okay. However, the mark to market will also take care of the premium. In 3 months, you have earned a premium of around 75, 80 paisa, let's say. So that will be 2 crores. So net impact, you will see 8 crores impact because of the currency fluctuation in your books of account, P&L, loss, 8 crores of loss. Whereas actually you have not lost anything. In fact, you have been better off by 4 rupees on the unhedged $30 million, right? But you will see 8 crores of loss in your P&L. This is where hedge accounting can help to avoid this 8 crores of P&L loss. Let's start with the next example where a hedge accounting can help. Let's say you borrow 5-year ECB or a dollar bond where your repayment is at the end of 5 years. And you are a very conservative company, you hedge it fully. You are fully hedged now. 5-year ECB, fully hedged. Now, if it is fully hedged, only the interest and the fully hedged rate should come to your P&L, right? But a typical situation which can occur in the near future is that currently dollar rupee forward premium is 4.5%. Let's say for some reason, because of the economic slowdown or to have a convergence with the global rates, the forward premium comes down to 3%. And this happens after 1 year. So now you have 4 years remaining. Forward premium crashes from 4.5% to 3%. You will suddenly see this 1.5% dip into 4 years, that is 6% on this $50 million ECB hitting your P&L. So 50 million into 6% approximately, $3 million, which is around 22 crores. It will be obviously discounted for present value and show it in your fair value mark to market. So your accounts will suddenly see 20 crores of extra loss on a fully hedged ECB. Your spot movements are fully covered. Even if your spot moves from 74 to 84, your ECB will not give you a loss because that is fully covered and that will reflect in the swap mark to market or a hedge mark to market. But if there is a change in MIFOR in the future or forward premium, that will not reflect. So in such a situation, it is very important that you have hedge accounting. This is where hedge accounting will help. And this is generally, the ECBs are much larger than your regular flows of 1 year, and hence it is often useful. So these are two scenarios I can think of where hedge accounting is useful practically. If there is any other situation you want to discuss, you can certainly discuss that. Srinivas, you want to add anything here?
Yeah, sorry. So see, to summarize, right, what Samir has been saying, you can put it in two conditions primarily. One, where the underlying receivable or payable is yet to be recorded in accounts, but you are hedging it based on a prudent hedging policy, where you are also hedging long-term exposures and potentially very probable, highly probable cash flows. But the actual accounting revenue is not yet there, or the payable is not yet crystallized in the books. In such a case, hedge accounting ensures that the hedge doesn't become naked from an accounting perspective, because ultimately when you don't have exposure on your books and when your hedge is already there in the books, then the hedge will become naked and there is no underlying exposure to offset the spot movement. So in such a case, hedge accounting will ensure that the mark to market of the hedge doesn't hit the P&L, but rather sits in the balance sheet, and you can take it as and when the exposure is recognized, the underlying item is recognized. So that's one situation. And that can happen with both exporters and importers. For exporter, as Samir was saying, the long-term revenue that or cash flows that you have hedged, but you're not yet in your books. Second is for payables also, you already know for a fairly, with a certainty that we will make certain cash flows, and you already hedge those payables, and you are yet to probably, the invoice is to be raised, the PO is just to be done, and until then the hedge might hit your P&L. So that's the first situation. And second situation is the long-term exposure, where the mark-to-market change of a hedge, be it a forward, be it a swap, be it anything, the mark-to-market change of a hedge is not just dependent on the spot movement, but it can change drastically depending on other factors than spot. That is forward premium, volatility, interest rates, IRS rates. So basically any hedge where the mark-to-market movement of the hedge is dependent on spot is only one factor, but the other factors also dominate the mark-to-market movement very much significantly. In such a case also, hedge accounting will ensure that all the effect of those parameters are not going to hit your P&L every quarter. As the example that Samir gave, right, 4.5 to 3%, right? If you have a 1.5% movement, for example, in a forward premium, a 5-year forward premium, you're actually saying 1.5% into 7.5% of the notional is the mark to market. So that entire mark to market will be taken to the quarterly P&L, right? So that kind of hit you can avoid if you go for hedge accounting. So these are the two situations that we have encountered where hedge accounting actually becomes very important before deciding on hedging also. There are a lot of companies which actually did long-term hedging, of course, prudent, but this quarterly P&L fluctuations is completely out of your control. There's nothing that you can do because the P&L will keep on hitting you and you have no control on the premium or the volatility. Same example is options, right? When you do options to hedge ECB or any such long-term, the option MTM doesn't move simply because spot has moved 1 rupee, option doesn't move by 1 rupee. Option moves because the volatility has changed, because the forward premium has changed. So many factors influence it. So the mark to market of the option need not be 1 rupee. It can be 50 paisa, 30 paisa, 40 paisa. So in such a case, the entire the hedge will not be reflecting in the P&L basically, though you are hedged. So these are the two situations that hedge accounting becomes very, very important.